Jays desperately needed this as they come out and have a very dominant win against the Cleveland Guardians in Game 2 of this series. And we also have some other things to discuss. A lot of the players were speaking out and calling out the Toronto Blue Jays offense following a brutal loss yesterday, but the Jays desperately needed this win today. They managed to get it, and they have a chance to win the series tomorrow against one of the best teams in baseball. So I want to break all that down in this stream. Welcome everybody in. It is a Saturday evening stream, and what a big win for the Toronto Blue Jays. And again, I don't want to get caught up in saying that every single win is big, but every win at this point leading up to the trade deadline, which is less than a month, or not less than a month away, but it's a while away. Every win over the next few weeks, especially in the month of June, is going to be so important for the Toronto Blue Jays going forward because, quite frankly, Ross Atkins probably doesn't know what he's doing, whether he's buying or selling, and what happens over the next week, what happens over the next few days, next few series is going to matter regarding whether they're going to trade their stars, whether they're going to keep their stars. What's up, Shane? What's up, James? A lot to discuss today, and I'm super excited for it. We're back on the live stream as well. But yeah, every game matters so much more than it did in previous years regarding this time of year, because we've been hearing all the reports about whether the Jays are going to sell, whether they're going to buy, what is up with the offense. The pitching staff is starting to get fed up with how bad the team's offense was. We saw in yesterday's game, Kevin Gosse came out and basically said, we need to be perfect if we want to win games. And it's not that the offense isn't trying, it's just that they're not getting it done. And finally, we saw some good hits today. We saw some small ball. We saw some bunting, which usually doesn't work out, but it worked out a little bit for the Jays. We saw some, there's no home runs, but there was a lot of hits from guys that have really been producing all season. But we need this to be sustainable, and hopefully this can continue to happen because, again, what's up, Dawson? Finally, some small ball, fast base running. Yeah, like the Jays' offense has been so bad, it's been so poor, that for them to come out and finally get a win that, again, against a really good team, and it's not that the Jays haven't been able to keep up with a lot of these good teams, it's just that they haven't been getting wins, quite frankly. They haven't been getting as many wins as they needed to. Now they're only 2 games below 500. We're still on the road back to 500. We thought we were going to hit it just a few days ago. It ultimately didn't happen against the Brewers. They lost that series. They lost back-to-back games, or they lost that game 3 in the series, sorry. So it's a step in the right direction, and all we can hope for now is that the offense continues to do what they're doing. And you look at the box score today, and we'll get into a lot of your guys' thoughts. We look at the box score today, there was no home runs, but you had Addison Barger get a hit. You had George Springer get an RBI single. Connor Fleffa continues to be really, really good. Vladdy, Horwitz got an RBI single. Like, the guys who need to step up, I mean, they stepped up today, and this was in a game where Bo Bichette was not playing. Bo Bichette was sitting today. He's dealing with some soreness in his leg or his neck or something like that. He's dealing with some injury. So for the Jays to go out there and get a win without Bo is good, even though he hasn't been one of the better hitters on the team at all. The Jays desperately needed it, and they got a win. If they lost this, they would have been 4 games below 500. And again, every win matters at this point with how this team is shaping up heading into the trade deadline and regarding what else is going to happen so far this season. So I don't know. I'm curious to hear all your guys' thoughts in here as everyone starts to flood in. Shout out to everyone in here again. It's going to be a bit of a quicker stream. I wanted to go live for you guys, though, because yesterday we got a lot of support when they made that Daniel Vogelbach move. So I wanted to get another stream and they go. Timely hitting is really missing from this team. I see why we got IKF. Somehow wish more. IKF has been unreal. He really has been one of the best signings by Ross Atkins the entire year. Shane, what's up, Shane? Hope you're doing well. Jays desperately need to trade for some consistent hitters. Yeah, I mean, you look at them and they have the best second inning hitting in baseball. They had the worst first inning RBIs, hitting OPS in baseball. The team is just weird. The pitching was good. The bullpen was dominant today. Bowden Francis was really, really good. So it's like we saw some things today that we can build on. And this is a game where, again, you're playing against one of the best teams in baseball. Bo Bichette is out. You have your bullpen day with Trevor Richards. You have your bullpen day with Bowden Francis. And that's crazy, Shane. And they were able to go out there and get the win. I mean, that's ultimately what ended up happening, and that's what matters. Granted, Jose Ramirez wasn't playing for the Guardians, so it kind of was like both of the best players weren't playing. No Jose Ramirez and then Bo Bichette. He's not one of the best players in the Jays anymore, but he used to be. What's up, Enzo? IKF over Vladdy. I mean, it's been that way for the last little bit. Enzo, don't spam it. I know you're tempted to spam it, but what are all of our thoughts on today's game? Do we have any worry? Do we have any worries in the chat? Yes or no? Are we encouraged by this? Are we worried about this? What's the sentiment right now? Are we still upset? Yesterday's loss was horrible. The Jays mustered 3 hits. I went into the stream yesterday before they played and was like, okay, let's get a win. Vogelbach's gone. Addison Barger's up. Barger got a hit today. He looked okay. A little bit rough in the field. Like, what's the sentiment of Jays fans right now? I think the Jays are in an okay spot. They're not in a great spot, but they need to go on a run. And like the more we say this, the more series they play, the less time they have to go on one of these big runs to get them to the point where they can actually make, the Jays buyers. And I don't know if the Jays want to be buyers. I don't know if they want to be sellers necessarily. But what I do know is that each win matters towards that goal. And that's why today's win was pretty big. Gosman's comment, yeah. And we're probably going to cover that in a video tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but we're probably going to cover that in a video tomorrow. Like, we saw yesterday, Kevin Gosse basically come out and saying that we need to be perfect, calling out the hitters. We saw Chris Bassett last week say that the hitters aren't doing enough and that they need to basically get it going. Like, they're not going to directly say, hey, the hitters are terrible, they need to get it going. But I mean, that's what they are. The hitters have been horrible. If the hitting was decent this year, if it was last year's level or even 2022 level, which was a lot better, the Jays would be well above 500, even though the pitching hasn't been great. I'm worried, even if we sneak into a wildcard spot, we lose both games like last year, what's the point? Gosman wasn't wrong. Gosman was not wrong. Again, if you don't know if you saw his comments, I might try to grab him in a little bit. It was basically, we have to be perfect. And if we're not perfect, then they're going to lose the game. And he basically went on to say that it's not for a lack of effort, but it's for a lack of production. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, Angel. What's up, Gabriel? Hope you're doing well. Oh, yeah, I didn't get the emotes yet. Obviously, streaming the day after, but we're still not winning. We're still not winning the tough games. Today was a must-win with the Guardians bullpen depleted. Exactly. Like, it was a must-win game, and that's the thing I've been saying all along for the Jays. Like, they go through these ups and downs, but they rarely lose the games that they need to win to keep them afloat, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending if you want to be a buyer or a seller or whatever camp you're on. But, like, they always stay in it. They just stay in it. And if they would have lost today, they would have been 4 games below 500. And then from there, you could spiral. But they haven't been. They've managed to win, and now they're in an okay spot to win the series, even though last time against the Brewers, we were saying the same thing. Yeah, I agree with you, Daniel. Andrew Gibson, can't be buyers unless you get a guy with a multi-year contract. This team is going nowhere. Yeah, like a guy like Luis Robert, under control for a few years. Like, there's a lot of different guys that are, again, I'll ask the question. Just type yes or no. Do you want the Jays to be buyers at the deadline? Yes or no. Leave it in the chat, because we can have this conversation a million times, and I think it's going to stay the same. It depends how they do. I think they can be buyers if they go for guys with control. They can go for guys with multi-year control. Maybe if they retool, they trade Bo for some prospects, but again, you can't really be you're sellers at that point, and reports keep coming out that are circulating whether they're going to be buyers or sellers. So I don't know. An okay spot is the worst place to be. Yeah, now we're lucky that it's not the same as like basketball, where you like teams in basketball in the NBA, they need to develop through the draft. The Jays can still go out and get free agents and all these things. The draft isn't as big of a deal, so being in the middle isn't as bad, especially when 16 teams make the playoffs, more than half the teams. But it's bad in the sense of like I don't think the Jays are in a spot to where they can continue to be mid. They have to continue to improve, which they're supposed to do for the past however many years, and they haven't. But I don't think that Ross Atkins ownership wants to sell. Maybe retool, but I don't think they want to sell. And the reason for that is the renovations, for one. You have everything to think about. The renovations, playoff tickets, making money from the playoffs, and just we kind of talk about the guys getting experience. They've played 4 playoff games. They haven't won a single one. We saw a couple defensive hiccups today, and defense with the young guys can be a problem in close games. Yeah, I mean, we're playing so many guys out of position now because of how the Jays have prioritized offense. We saw Berger playing third base. He made a pretty errant throw. You have Davis Schneider. They were more normal today because you're playing one of your defensive lineups, but usually you have Schneider, who's not a natural left fielder either. I'm tired of the money for the pitching staff for them to be contenders. Yeah, I mean, you can't. The pitching staff, like, they did unreal today. They shut out the Guardians, right? Trevor Richards has been dynamite all season. Mesa's been horrible. Ben Francis had a very, very good step in the right direction for this team. Like, he was going to be the frame of the stream, but I think it's more important that the Jays got the win. But you're looking at Ben Francis, 4 innings against a decent offense, a pesky offense, I would say. It's a bit more rough without their guy on Jose Ramirez. But if Bo and Vlad were hitting, we wouldn't be having this convo. Yeah, I mean, if Vladdy was 2020, Vladdy has been hitting. He's been cold a little bit and recency bias, whatever. Vlad's been fine. I don't know if he's ever going to go back to the 2021 self where he hit for all those bombs. But that being said, no one in the MLB, aside from Aaron Judge, is hitting tons of home runs. Like, it's just not happening. And I don't know what happened, whether it's the balls, whether it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s approach. He doesn't hit home runs anymore. He hits line drive base hits. He hits doubles off the wall. He hit the occasional home run. I just don't think it's who he is. But this is all happening, and Like, if we picture the Jays record, they're 2 games below 500. Springer has been one of the worst hitters in baseball. Bo has been one of the worst hitters in baseball. Justin Turner has been one of the worst hitters in baseball since his hot start, like since May. Everything has gone wrong. Kevin Kiermaier has been a disaster signing. Like, everything has gone wrong for the Jays, and they're still kind of in it, but I don't know how much long, like, baseball's such a long season that you have to remain optimistic. Like, I'm going to remain optimistic until they're eliminated from the playoffs, but it's getting to the point where the thing is, though, anything can happen in baseball. And Shane, I know you mentioned earlier that if they make the playoffs, they'll get swept. It's baseball so weird that the past, last year, the year before, when they got swept by the Mariners and they got swept by the Twins last year, it would be in true MLB baseball fashion for the Jays with their worst team since 2020 to go out there and win a series. Like, I don't know. Let's buy if it's the last crack of the core, then go all in. If they think it's the last crack and they're not going to extend these guys, then they might go all. I don't know if they're going to go all in for rentals. I'd hope they don't, but I think they could go for a guy who could be under control. We've seen Luis Robert be linked to the Jays. We've seen not Garrett Crochet, but they're selling Garrett Crochet. And after they don't need pitching, they need hitting desperately. Shout out to the 90 in here. Hit the like button as well. It's got 30 likes. We love seeing numbers go up. Everyone loves seeing numbers go up. Just hit the button. It would mean the world to myself. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this stream. Again, it's going to be a quicker one today because it's a Saturday night, but I don't know. Kevin Kiermaier is a hard watch. I've been saying that. I've been on the train since it happened. You can go back in the videos from the offseason. Varsho is Kiermaier, but better every way besides arm strength at this point. And they need to go ahead and not cut ties, just use him as a fourth outfielder. Do you think Kirk should go on the chopping block? Bad base running, hitting, and throwing out Steelers? Yeah. Kirk is an interesting one. They can't because Danny Jansen's on the last year of his contract, and if he doesn't extend, they're naturally going to give Alejandro Kirk the 1A catcher spot. So they can't trade him unless they get a catcher back. They obviously traded Moreno in the Varsho deal, which I don't hate, but I don't know. We're worse offensively this year than last. We're not going to do anything come playoffs. Internal improvements aren't coming. Shane, you're off the optimism train, huh? Off the optimism train. I don't blame you. I get it. I definitely get it. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting next couple weeks. Like, again, the June month, the month of June was going to be and always was going to be the most important month for the Toronto Blue Jays and for the front office. And I can guarantee you that the front office are watching these games and saying, we need to figure out a path. Because you mentioned, and everyone agrees, like, being in the middle is not the best option for anybody. They're going to be stuck in the middle. If they are within 2 or 3 games of a wildcard spot like they are right now, they have no choice but to buy. I mean, maybe they stay pat. Staying pat could be an option, but they're not going to sell. And if they don't sell, then you're potentially losing assets for nothing. Jimmy Garcia, Yusei Kikuchi, 2 guys that the Jays need if they want to try to compete in the second half of the season. But then if they flare out, like all signs kind of have been pointing to, then they're losing the assets for nothing, and then your prospect pool is still rough. So I don't know. They're in a very tough spot, and they will be in a tough spot until they figure this out July 1st, whatever ends up being. But for now, they're just going to ride it out, I think. They're just going to ride it out, see what happens, see if they can continue to get through wins like this. IKF's been a great signing. Varsho's been fine. Like, they just have to hope. They really have to hope that they're going to get it back, because if they don't, then I don't know what their other option is. Like, I don't. They're not going to trade Bo Bichette. They're not going to trade Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So what's their option? I'm curious to see what you guys think. Kiermaier ain't it. Turner ain't it. Springer ain't it. I agree. Those 3 things have to change if I'm going to regain my optimism. Yeah, and I don't think any of those things are going to change. Springer could maybe have a bit of a bounce back. Turner could go back to a semblance of himself. Aside from that, what are we doing? Like, it was the front office's moves that ultimately caused a bit of this. And it's also a mix of the players just falling off. I mean, they can't play for the team. We saw the Shohei Ohtani stuff. Like, it's just a rough spot. But at the very least, we can look at some optimism, and the Jays have won today. They won today. We're going to be happy with that. And yeah, Andrew was hoping Shapiro and Atkins would be canned. Trading Gabby was a massive L. I don't mind the trade, Jay. I mean, Varsho has a better WAR than both Lourdes and Gab combined. So I don't hate the trade. I hate the subsequent moves they made to augment the roster. And that's what it comes down to. The offense wasn't good enough last year. Not good enough this year yet. Maybe they can turn that around. I've been more optimistic than Peter. Like, I've been one of the more optimistic people on. I've been one of the more optimistic Jays fans out there. I still think there's time for this team to turn it around. I think it's running out, and I think that today was a step in the right direction. And I don't think no matter what way you slice it, they needed this win today. And I think the fact that they were able to get a win kind of goes to show, like, And that's probably what John Schneider's going to say. They had the determination, the grit to get the win and tip their cap, all this stuff. But Springer needs to sit, recall Lucas. So Shane, Lucas is actually hurt and he's out for the next few months, I believe. I saw that after the stream yesterday. So Lucas is out. Nathan Lucas is out. He hurt himself, but cut Turner. I don't think they're going to cut Turner though. He's making too much money, $13 million. 39 years old, veteran in the clubhouse as well. Like, those aren't the guys you really cut, and some team would definitely take him just to mash lefties. So I mean, there would be some sort of deal there. Let's get to 30 likes. We're 12 away. If you're tuned into this quick Saturday night stream, make sure to hit the like button. How are we feeling? I think the win was good. I think there's a ways to go. Yesterday was really bad. The vibes after yesterday's game were really, really bad, and I'm hoping that the vibes continue to be good. Yeah, Alan Rodon just got called up to AAA, so he could be on his way up eventually. Everyone has been waiting for the Blues to get a long winning streak. It hasn't happened. Regardless of the buyers or sellers, it should be for the future. No rentals. I agree, Tim Wong. I completely agree. And that's what it is. If they're going to buy, it's going to be not for rentals. And I also agree with the fact that they need to go on a long winning streak. Maybe it starts today, and maybe we go on a huge winning streak. They win 10 in a row. They get themselves into the wild card spot comfortably. That could easily happen. And the team has the talent for that to happen. And that's why it's so frustrating to see this be happening. The fact that they haven't been able to go on one of these win streaks. Like, the talent is there. And it's just they haven't been able to put it together at once. Since the core has been together, since really 2019, but since the real, the best chance we had was back in 2021. And in 2021, obviously, we missed the game by one game. Missed the playoffs by one game. Devastating. I remember watching it like it was yesterday. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But at this point, we're 2 games under 500, and we have to just start winning. The Jays have to keep winning. If they don't win, and they don't go at least they got to win 70-75% of their games for the rest of the month if they want to have a great chance to just really make a run for the playoffs. Because, I mean, if they don't, they're going to be in pretty rough shape. And again, shout out to Bowden Francis, 4 innings, scoreless ball. I mean, everyone held it down. Trevor Richards has been the unsung hero for the team. You have Danny Jansen, Vladdy. Good to see Vladdy get back on the board with a hit. But again, a lot of pitching on paper isn't far off from the Yankees talent-wise. That's why it's so frustrating. The Yankees definitely have more. I mean, they're a better team. They're the way, way, way better team. They made the move for Juan Soto. The Orioles made the move for Corbin Burns. Red Sox and Rays are kind of middling with the Jays. They also didn't make any moves. The 2 teams that made big offseason moves are the teams in the AL East and the teams in the MLB, really, between the Orioles and the Yankees. 2 of the best teams in the baseball. They made 2 big moves. Now, obviously, the Orioles are stacked with prospects and things like that, so they were more inclined to make a move for Corbin Burns. They didn't even give up any of their top 10 prospects in a deal for that, or any of their top prospects. I think they gave up one of their top 10 or 2 of their top 10. But it's you had the Yankees as well go out and get Juan Soto, and that was lost in the shuffle. If the Shohei Ohtani stuff wasn't going on, do the Jays go out and get their time back and trade for Juan Soto if that was their focus instead of Ohtani? So many what ifs, so many question marks. And all the Jays can do right now is continue to battle and continue to as fans, we have to remain optimistic. If we don't remain optimistic as fans, there's going to be a point where we got to keep supporting the team. The Jays are the AL East. White Sox? No, the White Sox are terrible. They're next level bad. The White Sox are next level bad. Our lineup and pitching on paper, the team on paper is good. What's not good is the execution, and that's ultimately what it's come down to. They've continued to underperform year after year after year, and that's why all the fans are so upset. And I'm saying, yeah, be patient, have optimism. I don't blame us, you guys, if you don't have optimism. They've shown nothing this season and really in the past, besides 2021 when they didn't even make the playoffs, to give us a reason to be excited. And we thought after all these years they'd be able to do something. But the good thing is there's still time. This season's still on the go. That's about all I got. 5 likes away or 7 likes away from 30. If you guys could hit that button for me, it would mean the world. Again, a shorter stream today. I'm going to wrap it up shortly. I'm going out to dinner. But wanted to get a stream out for you guys. We're going to be doing streams tons more. I know you guys loved it yesterday. Obviously today, they got to win Saturday night. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going out. The Jays are terrible. Stop lying to yourself. They've played pretty bad this year. I'll give you that. But I have faith. I have some faith. I mean, they're not... It's more optimism than faith. I'm just going to be optimistic. Now, if Peter was here, he'd probably be saying the opposite. But, we can... they got a win today. I'm going to be happy with the win, and we're going to go from there. Very happy with the win. Happy with the way things have gone this game for today, because ultimately, I don't know. Keep playing the guys who are producing. Sit the boys who do nothing regardless of what they're getting paid. That I agree with. We need to cut it out with the Justin Turner, George Springer. I mean, George Springer had a decent game today, but like playing George Springer, there was shout out Joey. Playing George Springer, Joey, like we've been playing him for so long at that leadoff spot. The biggest question was, he's a veteran. You can't take him at a leadoff spot. And now we're playing him in the 6 hole, the 7 hole. At what point is it going to be like, okay, now we take him out of the lineup and he's a pinch hitter if someone else comes like to the dish? But then it's like, well, who would you pinch hit him for? Maybe Kevin Kiermaier. Maybe. So I don't know. There's so many different explanations for all this stuff. I don't know. It's going to be a rough time. But any final thoughts before we wrap up? Again, a very quick stream today. Just wanted to get this out for you all. We didn't have a video today, which we usually do, but this will count as a video. It's a shorter stream anyways. Any final thoughts for me before I wrap it up? And the Jays go for the big series win tomorrow. And if they can get that win, we'll be in pretty good shape. We'll be in decent shape if they get the win. If you can win against Cleveland at home, you take that 10 days out of 10. Any final thoughts to me before we wrap up? Everybody, again, shout out to everyone in here. We're 2 likes away from 30. Make sure to hit that button. Again, a shorter stream. We're going to be going live after as many games as possible, along with our daily videos. I think we win tomorrow, Daniel. I think we do. I think we win tomorrow. We win the series. We get some momentum going, and things really start to pick up. We'll probably have a live stream for you after the game tomorrow. Either a live stream or a video. I definitely need to get a video out, though, for tomorrow. So definitely a live stream or video. Maybe a video tomorrow morning as well. That might be possible. Feel more comfortable in IKF's coming up. Yeah, he's been I think he's been the Jays' best clutch hitter. Today's one of the game series they would win against Carrasco. He's terrible. He's awful. Ernie should start tomorrow. Definitely should. Shout out to you guys for getting 30 likes. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow they would lose the series against a great pitcher. The Jays had a good pitcher too. Vryonis is on the bump, I believe. Correct? Vryonis tomorrow. Let me double check. Vryonis versus Lively. Going to be a battle, but Vryonis has been our best pitcher by far for the Toronto Blue Jays. So it's like, yeah, I mean, Relvis is probably going to get called up pretty soon as well. There's going to be a lot of moving parts for the Toronto Blue Jays. And then we have all the players calling out, the pitchers calling out the hitters. Like, there's a lot going on. But what we can take from it is that they got a big win today. They have a chance to win the series tomorrow, which is all we need. And we need mo emojis before next stream. Shannon on it. We're on the emojis, and we're definitely going to get those rocking. Especially with all the new members. We got 35 members in the last stream. What's up, Leah? Who played well today? Who played well today? IKF played phenomenal. Horwitz had an okay game. No one played like phenomenally besides Bowden Francis. Like Bowden Francis was the hero of the game today, going 4 innings scoreless. But yeah, IKF has been the star of the show. Barger had a decent game. Varsho had that double. Vladdy, some decent guys. Like no one really stood out besides Bowden Francis. Barger's hit too was like it was a hit and run, so it was like a bit of a weird hit. No worries, Joe. Again, going to be going live a lot more. The videos aren't going to stop, though. Today was just a rare off day for a video, but we still got a stream out. Still got a stream out for you all, but yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to go to dinner, but I do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, and hopefully starting tomorrow, the Jays can go ahead and lock it in, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying the streams, building a bit of a community here. That was one of the big goals for us and for myself. Go live a lot more. Peter will definitely be going live and just keeping things rolling. And hopefully we see all of you in the video tomorrow morning, depending if we have a video, and in the stream as well. But yeah, that'll wrap it up. Big victory for the Toronto Blue Jays. Hit the like button on your way out if you're heading out. Have a great, safe rest of your night. If you're partying, doing whatever, have a safe Saturday, and enjoy yourselves, everybody. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Either it's a video or a stream. Peter should be here as well. And thank you guys for tuning in. It means the world to me. What's up, Shane? Thank you again, Shane, for Bon Appetit. I will enjoy it. All right, everyone, take it easy. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you tomorrow for the final match against the Cleveland Guardians. And hopefully the Jays can take the series.